Welcome, Bridge Nation. Welcome, iHeart listeners. Welcome, Carib Star. This is a Bridge 99 FM in Kingston, Jamaica. The program is The Public Eye. I'm Ronald Thwaites, and the co-host is the Honorable Pernell Charles, veteran, retired Minister of Government, trade unionist, public servant. The purpose of this program is to bring Caribbean people, the Jamaican diaspora, up to date on what's happening in this blessed country of Jamaica, Pearl of the Antilles. Call us if you will. The WhatsApp number is 876-551-5782, and the studio line is 876-676-4996. And you can download the mobile app from the Android Play Store and the Apple Store, you know. It's The Bridge 99 FM. On the program today, we're going to welcome later on Professor Orville Taylor. He is the Dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences at the University of the West Indies, that great institution, well-rated throughout the Caribbean, headquartered in Jamaica. And he is interested in talking to us about the kind of synergies that must exist between the research work of any university, and especially one in the Caribbean, and public policy. Does university exist only to produce graduates and for public life, for private enterprise, or does it have a role to be what I call them, the thinking arm of the Jamaican state? The thinking arm of the Jamaican state. So much more on that when we have Dr. Taylor later on in the program. So, Mr. Charles, greetings.
My man just said to me, you said the thinking arm. And he said, if you could say the thinking brain.
Thinking brain. Okay, he would understand that a little better.
Because the brain, he misunderstands.
Thinking and stinking. Thinking and stinking. Okay, so we have to tell our listeners that we have to deal with the eccentricities of our Jamaican Creole language.
That's something. It is a fantastic thing that a lot of people don't appreciate. I'm worried that I heard the leader of the opposition say if he becomes prime minister, he is going to direct that patois be taught in elementary, or what do you call it now?
Primary schools.
Primary schools. I am very worried about that, because I was telling my daughter, she said, "How would you spell Ihi?"
E-E-H.
Well, it's kind of...
E-A-E.
So she reminded me that grandma gave her a joke that if you drop an egg and it breaks, you say, "He no, he no." You know what that means?
Yeah.
That sends a lot of things.
Oh, yes. Punishment in store.
You have to go inside, report to mama.
Yes.
Or if you break a lampshade, they say, he no.
Spanish don't.
Papa break the lampshade.
Yeah. Big trouble.
Anyhow.
So, but if the leader of the opposition says that, what would be your objection?
No, I think that we would born with patois. We don't have to go. My objection is that I didn't get a chance to learn English in school.
How you mean?
Because I got to school only no patois.
Okay. But
in other words, the point is this, that many of our children can't pass English.
Yeah.
They were fortunate like you. You were born in an environment where only English was spoken. You get a little patois when you came outside. We were born in one where...
The patois was all that you had.
It was a language of the home.
Until you turn on the radio, and the radio never come till you're a big man.
The radio came to the community.
Yeah.
A 1 pi radio.
Yes.
That 3 or 4 people have to carry.
Yes.
And put up at a special shop. So come Saturday evening, everybody go out to hear Calypso Corner from something. And those of us who are interesting then would listen to the news.
Yeah.
But it was Radio Fusion. That comes here.
Yes. But now hear me now. The leader of the opposition is in fact making a proposal which is in fact already in existence. The rule in the Ministry of Education, as I understand it, was that children are to hear their own language, which is the Jamaican Creole, what we call patois, our version, that they were to hear Jamaican Creole until the third grade. That's when they're about 8 or 9 years old, as a basis for introducing them to English, to Jamaican Standard English. And many teachers do this, others do not, because it still has a stigma of being somehow inferior talk. What I find, and I'm sure and let me attest your experience, is that with many people who you want to speak with, whether in the school situation or the political situation or church even, the reality is that if you speak to them in standard Jamaican English, as we are doing on this program, the likelihood is that they will not understand you fully.
Where did they learn patois from?
From their surroundings, from their birth.
So you're saying that it should become a subject in school?
I'd say it is a
I have a problem with that.
No, not a subject in school. It becomes a means of introducing students to standard English.
In other words, if you want to tell me how I'm to say something in English, you can guide me
You
to...
have to guide you from what you know.
From what you know.
Yes,
to,
not
to
from
tra-
what...
to transform you from
if I just start with what you want me to know, and I can't understand you, you haven't taught me anything.
Well, to tell you, when I went to elementary school, which is
primary school,
I didn't get a chance to go to any basic school because there were none in my area.
Yeah.
And my mother was delegated to teach me ABC from A to Z, not to Z, to Z.
Yes.
And count from 1 to 100.
Uh-huh.
There was an ABC book
right.
that you have to know from A to Z.
Yeah.
And you have to learn to spell pot, rat, cat, mat, and those things. So I was fully prepared for elementary, only knowing that.
Yeah.
When I got there were some guys who were like professors because they were able to speak, they could write. My teacher had to hold my hand and say, don't go over the top line, touch the bottom line, go up and come down for capital letters.
What do you use, a slate?
You get a small slate and a pencil.
Yes.
Not lead pencil.
No. A slate pencil.
A slate pencil. And when you reach second class, you get big slate.
Yeah.
But you have small slate for
when you
us.
just start grade 1.
And whoever it is that draw that line, I think it was at school that they give it the line. But that's what held me back. When you look at, when I got there were boys who had basic school in their area.
Yes.
So they didn't need any teacher to hold their hand
they're
to
ready.
go up.
Yes.
Or they didn't know the spot and rat.
Yes.
They could spell big words.
Yes. No, hear me.
That's how big words come in, you know.
Okay. But then my view is that it is very reasonable to address people or to start to communicate with them in the language that they understand. I have some responsibility, ministerial responsibility for inner city church.
Yes.
And if I preach the sermon on using Jamaican Standard English, some people will not understand me fully. And therefore I have to... I
have to dwell into both.
Indeed.
What's the lady that writes a column on it?
Dr. Carolyn Cooper.
Carolyn Cooper.
Yeah.
A very nice lady. I hope somebody here and tell her that I say she's nice.
Listen to me, sweet.
However,
will get you anywhere.
She's a nice person. And we met, and she speaks perfect English.
Of course she is.
And I think she would agree with you. But the ordinary Jamaican don't want to hear that for them picnic go to school go learn no patois.
No.
And because as far as they're concerned, they know that already.
Sure.
They want to change to English.
Indeed. But it is a basis of, it is a pedagogical method that takes what we are familiar with and introduces us to what is unfamiliar. And there is merit in that, I'm convinced. I wasn't always convinced, but I'm persuaded that that is a good thing to do. If beyond that, let us make it clear, particularly for our international audience, because plenty of our people from the Caribbean go abroad, and a command of standard English is absolutely vital. You don't have you don't have to twang like some Americans, or clip your tongue like the English people, but to be able to fully understand and express yourself with whatever accent in your in standard English, grammatical standard English, is vitally important.
Well, can I give you a joke?
Please.
I used to take the A train from Manhattan, from 125th Street down to 42nd Street, 41st Street, you know? So when you get on a full train, and there are two of you, like me and you would be on the train, and we want to know who Jamaican say, "Well, go on, brother." And you see, 3 or 4 man look around and laugh.
Yes.
Yes, a Jamaican. Not.
Jamaican dad. But look how Barack Obama, when he came here,
Yeah. He tried to speak.
He captivated the audience. He captivated the nation.
Yes.
By paying us the compliment of beginning his address by saying, "Wagwan, Jamaica." Yes.
Yeah, but your friend, he's trying to speak patois.
Who is this?
Mark.
No, man, Mark is, well, okay, he's trying.
He's trying to speak
No, but
patois.
Mark is a roots man, you know.
No, yeah, but him not roots in the patois.
Oh,
so
that's surprising.
No, man, they have never heard him.
I've heard him all the time, but I
He don't speak it good.
Oh, I see.
But to tell you something, I went to a country in Africa where many of our Americans and Jamaicans went back.
Okay, yes. Liberia.
Liberia.
Yes.
And perfect, like they speak perfect patois.
I see.
They don't say, where him there? They say, where he there?
I see.
You understand?
But tell me now, because
because some of those people were from Jamaica.
Yes.
And so you find that's the only African country with that, the Jamaican.
Because of the reverse migration.
The reverse migration.
But then our Jamaican Creole, Professors Cassidy and LePage tell us, is also heavily derived from African languages.
Yes.
So you have that mix in the story you're telling us. You extend that mix by sending people back to Liberia.
Yes.
And of course it fits right. They fit right in.
Mix.
Very well. So let's be clear. And language is a very personal thing, you know.
It is an ability to communicate with others.
Yeah.
So if you say, "Boy, go there," and he understands you're saying, "Young man, please go over there."
Yeah.
Right? Not everybody would understand that.
No.
But guess what? The Spanish people have their own patois.
Yeah.
And other languages have their own
derivatives.
Right? So I am not. I just not like to hear.
So
it
tell me now.
It must become a subject in school.
No. I don't think he's saying that. It must be what he's aware is that there is a very great deficit in literacy in the schools, and one of the reasons why there is that deficit of literacy is because people are introduced to a language as if it is their first language when it's not.
What's your first language?
The first language for the majority of Jamaicans is Jamaican Creole.
Yeah, but why are you nicing it up so call it Jamaican?
Because that's a correct scientific name for it.
Yes. So when I call it
patois, we understand you, but it's that you're talking about the same thing.
I am calling the scientific name in a patois.
All right, Mr. Frenchman. You see, hear me now. So let's extend this argument into another point. When you are on the political platform, what language do you speak?
Well, you're not a nice guy. And I just want to tell you, I had breakfast with one of the gentlemen who ran against you or you run against.
Oh?
This morning.
Okay.
And he asked me to extend his compliment.
Oh, very good.
Dr. Colley.
Oh, yes. This is a
And
gentleman.
But I don't understand. He has nice things to say about you.
Well, that's good. I thank him for that.
You have nice things to say about him too?
I don't know him very well, but I know him as an excellent pulmonologist.
Yes.
And that's good.
He's
I'm
having some
grateful.
difficulty. I don't know. I need to go into his business, but he's going to have a replacement.
Oh dear.
But
Well,
he's
wish him well. But hear me now. Answer my question. When you are on the political platform, what language do you speak now?
Boy, me talk all kind of language, you know. No, you know, you really hit me at a spot where it's a mixture of presentation, you know.
Yeah. This
Because
is the whole thing. Why do you use a mixture presentation, Mr. Charles? One of the most experienced political speakers in this country, able to mesmerize audiences, able to communicate with the upper echelons of the society as well as those at the base. Why do you have to mix your language forms?
Because your language, your English cannot excite
Mine.
me. So I have to take a little of your English.
No. Audience, listen up to this. Listen to
take
what
a little of your English to mix
cannot
with some
excite.
of my English.
Yes.
No. I can go and say, ladies and gentlemen, how are you? Today is a very beautiful day. I can. What am I saying?
Yeah. Well,
Well,
this is it. So
But-
if you want to communicate,
whether
it is
I
from
better stop this thing because you're convincing me, you know. And I don't like to be convinced about patois.
well,
Because I know that if you tell some people that uptown, some of your people,
my
that
people,
yes,
I'm uptown.
that when they come downtown, the teacher going to speak some patois to their children to get them to understand. I'm not quite sure they would be.
No, because
happy
why?
about it.
But you listen. You're carrying this argument, as you always do, into the deepest waters. Because the people from the higher echelons of Jamaican society,
Yes.
of Caribbean society, because remember the breadth of our audience, and also the Caribbean has so many common features between territories. There is huge class prejudice to do with language. It used to be racial prejudice. Lady Nugent, in Jamaican history, the wife of the governor,
Yes.
she was so distressed because she said that white women who were born in Jamaica or came to Jamaica for an extended period and lived in countryside or plantations, etc., so quickly assumed what was the patois, the Creole language.
Yes.
And she saw this as a terrible, distressing factor.
Yes.
Swelling
up her language.
Absolutely. And she couldn't speak to them anymore, and they had become
Yes.
too acculturated with what? Too acculturated with black people.
Can I give you a joke on that one?
Tell me that one.
There's a white Jamaican young lady that is driving home many evenings by herself on Lady Musgrave Road. And when she gets to the corner of Hope Road and Lady Musgrave, you know what that is?
Yeah.
And the guys descend on her, want to wipe her car.
Yeah.
She do like this. So one guy look on them and tell her a few Jamaican
Yes.
bad words.
Yes.
In Jamaican bad word style. And say, you see, I don't know, red woman and, you know, that white woman and this. And she take it and drive it. 2 evenings she come about the guy and say, see the white woman come again and drop her something in it. And she turn to them and say, cannot broadcast.
Yes.
What she told them, they said, my God, she a Jamaican. Not Jamaican. She a Jamaican.
Jamaican.
And laugh, and she start to carry food for them.
Yes.
Every evening.
You see,
So,
but that is what you've just said is a beautiful story, you know, and it indicates that despite the class differences that are very, very pernicious.
She know every word.
No, absolutely, and also that we are able to bring friendship and comedy and humor out of the most distressing circumstances.
Well, I'm telling you, I was amazed. I don't know if it was a lady who told me or somebody who she told. But she carry a sandwich for them.
Yeah.
And they don't say our friend.
Yeah,
listen,
man. No, look
see
at that.
Our friend
Our
coming
friend.
now.
Yeah, man. Look at that.
And she become a friend.
But you
of-
see,
of the-
when you don't doubt it, but when sometimes people have commented that on this program, I tend to promote what they call Jamaican exceptionalism. I do so pointedly because I really believe that we are a God-blessed people. Not that others are not, but that because of our history and because of the forced intermingling which we have come to terms with or are coming to terms with, we have a unique gift, a spiritual gift, as well as an emotional outcome that we can offer to the rest of the world. There are very few places, as far as I know, where something which began as acrimonious, as that lady at the driving of a particular class and color,
could bring such friendship.
Could within a short period of time and in the most difficult, uncertain circumstances, end up with them calling each other my friend and one offering food.
Yeah, but I am not able to tell you in the ear what she told them.
No, I understand. Which makes it
that them say, "Oh no, come here, but
which makes it all the richer. Yes, the fact that she was able, she entered entirely into their culture. Sure. Now that is what we have to give.
And it backs away the whiteness.
Yes.
It backs away the foreign.
So you see, you're saying it
backs away the pretty English.
You're saying
and
exactly
they all
what.
became Jamaican.
Absolutely. No, but isn't that the ultimate objective of humanity?
I better stop this argument because you look like you look like you're winning me over.
No. You are expressing it so well. You told me the story.
Point, though, I think it would be some people would be unhappy who with that being. But you said that it's not.
It's not a subject in itself.
Not a subject.
No, it is what it is a
methodology. Some teachers would be permitted to use to explain.
Indeed.
Oh, this is what you know, but this is the proper
Sure.
thing. Okay.
This is it. Fine. You see, but let's draw the bigger point. This capacity to overcome ascriptive differences, even of language, which is so very, very personal, intimate, this ascriptive ability to overcome constraints of race and sometimes of class, so not enough. Two things come to me. One, we need to refashion our society, which cements and makes constant and permanent that capacity to come together as one. Not one without differences, but one where the differences are not such that they fracture relationships. That's the first thing. And secondly, it really disturbs me that the major countries of the world, relating it to the Israeli-Gaza situation now, and also to American political activity. We're watching this run-up about Iowa and the elections on the television monitor, that we seem to be able to solve things, to settle things, yes, where they who are our mentors can't do it. I mean, I am so disappointed, Bernal, I can't tell you. I revere the American nation. They paid for my undergraduate education, an Ivy League education. I never paid, my family didn't have to pay for anything. While I was there, although a foreigner, they allowed me, even though America was at war in Vietnam during that time, they allowed me full expression. I was able to contribute first and then become the editor of a newspaper about the size of the Observer in Jamaica, a college newspaper. And no one ever said you dare not speak about American political life because you're a foreigner.
Okay.
Now look, those are great virtues, aren't they?
Oh yes. But can we close?
Look what happened now.
Can we close this discussion by giving you the last joke that cannot be put
this
on
is a
the
rich program.
Cannot be put on the air fully. Sitting beside a Jewish girl at New York University, and she said to me, "I want you to teach me some Jamaican bad word."
Really?
So of course, I had to go about.
You had to oblige?
I had to oblige. my
Be
friend.
Charles.
So I give her one of our,
Choices.
choice word that my mother
Uh-huh.
refused to be a witness at a case where one man used it. And switching to my mother now, she said, the judge said, Mrs. Charles, you have to tell us what you hear.
Yeah.
She said, Your Honor, I can't use them the word. So I said, well, Mrs. Charles, the case cannot go any further because you are the only witness. Well, all I can tell you, Your Honor, is that he was talking about some cloth, some clothes,
Yeah.
and blood, and all those things. But I can't use those words. So that is to tell you now that
Your mother is rich.
that we now say to this Jewish girl
Yes.
sitting beside a black man for the first time,
Aye.
teach her some Jamaican words. When I now took her to the West Indian Students Association, she looked at one of the girl and asked him if she is one of the...
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Everybody took her and said, Miss,
Who tell you that? How you know that?
you can't
Say that.
you can't call those words.
No.
She said, what's a nice word? Charles say, how I was.
Pardon, Charles, you put yourself
Let
in
me tell you
trouble there.
something. Let me tell you something. This world should be a good world. It was made to be a good world.
Yeah.
We have spoiled it in so many ways we could be happy, and we just don't make it happy.
Well, this is the point. And when we come back from the break, I really want to discuss my disappointment because much of our audience is living perhaps in North America or close to it. And my concern is that the best ideals of that nation, which have been so persuasive to many other countries, particularly small nations like ours, who share many traditions, share some measure of language, share some measure of the same legal system, who have similar struggles, that now we should see that nation being torn apart by divisions and by violence and by a foreign policy which is shedding blood rather than saving blood.
Yeah, but can I put you in a worse position?
All right, how?
Is that it is happening up in the north,
Yeah,
happening down in the south,
yeah.
come over this side, same thing in the north. You know so?
Yes.
And my mother has gone with her. You know what my mother would
Yes.
say. What?
God soon come for him world.
Exactly.
On that note, this is the Public Eye on the Bridge 99 FM, broadcasting to the world. We soon come back. Thank you for being with us on the Bridge 99 FM. It's Charles and Thwaites. This is the Public Eye, broadcasting from Kingston, Jamaica, to Jamaican lovers and Caribbean people all over the world. This is what we do on the Bridge 99 FM. So, Mr. Charles, here we are presumptuous enough from our small birth in Jamaica, 3 million plus people, the size of a modest-sized city in United States or Canada or England. And we wish to say to our friends abroad, we are distressed at how you stay. Here we have this tremendous problem between the Israelis and the Arabs, okay? And here we have the Secretary of State for the United States, Mr. Blinken, quoted over the weekend as saying that there are far too many civilian casualties in Gaza. Yes?
Yes.
But at the same time, Mr. Blinken
Is
carrying the weaponry, which is causing the casualties. So how hello, we're not so fool, sir.
but let me tell you
What kind of contradiction is that?
Let me
Who
tell
is
you
to believe you?
Let me tell you something. I will tell you what Mr. Blinken is suffering from.
Right.
It's something that I am suffering from.
Oh,
Some of my best friends are Jews,
that's fine.
and some of my best friends are Palestinian people.
Yes.
And for you to say, come out on one side, you have a problem. You have to discuss it and make a presentation a different way.
No, but
No, I think that America has a problem. And America problem starts in America, not over there.
Well, there's no doubt.
Start on the stock market.
Correct.
Start within the cabinet.
Yeah, but what is the purpose of whatever the purpose is? It's humanity comes first. And the human life, look here, can we state it whereas others may not want to state it or may honor it in the breach? The human life is the highest of God's creation.
But isn't that what Mr. Blinken said he's telling you?
No.
When he says, whatever is going on, there are too many people who are dying.
Yeah, but you can't
give lives.
But then, what is the use of him saying that when he's putting in the hands of those killers the very weaponry
to do the killing?
To do the killing. No, sir. You could have never explained that to me. Yes?
No, I'm not going to try to explain that to you. I'm concerned that is being said. But when it comes back to me, and you ask me where you stand, and I look right and left. I have them.
No, I'm quite clear. I am pro-Israeli. I expect them. I want them to have a state which is secure and peaceful.
Yes.
I also desire just the same for the Palestinians.
Right.
Right.
So if we stop right there, my friend in Reddit said about Mr. Charles. That is what we know a long time. What we know is that one is killing off the other.
So what?
So what is your position?
Since that, my position is.
My position simple is that I cannot stand and see you dropping bombs on children and hospitals and Doctors Without Borders who are there helping people are being killed.
Right.
The United Nations people are being killed.
Yes.
Baby. And you're dropping more. And you are giving them the bomb to drop.
Yeah.
And you're coming to me to say, Mr. Charles, we don't want anybody to die, but we have to give them something to kill them.
To kill them. No, but then why isn't our government in Jamaica? Yes? Why isn't our government in Jamaica saying what you and I are saying? Because we have a voice. We are noted in the world, not just for being bashment and boogie people and sports persons, but we're thought of as being moral people. Let me say how much I revered the late Hugh Lawson Shero for his stand in 1968 on human rights in the United Nations, and the many instances before where Jamaicans have stood up, I want to say against the world, but taken strong, powerful positions. What are we doing now? Internationally, we're a set of eunuchs. We can't talk. Yes? It is a terrible, terrible mistake that we are making. Why don't we defend the cause of right?
I don't think that any member of the cabinet would disagree that they cannot support people being killed the way they're being. Hold on a minute.
Yes, all right.
Let's say you saw the doctors running out of the hospital.
Yes.
You know those doctors are sent by the United Nations.
Yes.
By doctors that have gone there to help people.
Yes.
And they've been killed.
Yes, sir.
Some children, women are having babies.
Yes.
And they're blown up.
Yes.
And, well, so I said that to one of my friends, said, that happened on the 7th, and the Jewish side.
Yes.
I said, all right.
I condemn that.
Okay. So when are we going to say stop?
Yes.
Because where we are now, we said, look here, enough is enough.
No, but we haven't said that sufficiently strongly. That's Charles is saying. Charles and Thwaites are saying this. Why can't Jamaica House say it? That's my problem. I want my leaders to lead, as Howard Mitchell says, to represent people like us, represent what is good and true, not to be silent. Silence in this case is complicity.
What is silent is what?
Complicity.
What's the other word? What's the other line? Silent is gold.
Golden? Well, no, not in this instance. But,
silent is gold.
You are good, eh?
Does that say anything?
Not to me this time.
Yeah, but my mother would say this: watch money cause a problem.
True, but you see, money can't buy life. You know, Man can't buy love neither.
I thought you were fully Jamaican. You know the whole story.
I know the whole story. But the key thing is, where do we stand in the whole of this? So we supported a humanitarian ceasefire after much twisting and turning, as our listeners will know, after the initial invasion by Hamas. But it is one of the contradictions of history that we must take note of, both in terms of our international stance and also in terms of how we decide we're going to live locally as a people. We're coming to that, where the Jewish people, having suffered the Holocaust, having suffered another Holocaust on October the 7th by Hamas, yes, because that's what it was, intentional slaughter of Jewish people. They know, having been the victims of all of that, now turn to become the perpetrators of the same thing on another set of people. God help us.
So the president, if I were there, the president says, hold on now.
Yeah.
You have done your killing.
Yeah.
You have done your killing.
Yeah.
We cannot, no, we are saying stop it and let us go around the bargaining table to where we were.
Yeah.
The government has said that.
My view is that we should join the South Africans.
Yeah, but Ronnie,
in the International Court of Justice.
Hold on, Ronnie. You should drive a small car. You drive a small car.
Yes, sir.
You could drive a big car if you want, you know.
Yeah, no, I don't wish to.
No, exactly.
Uh-huh.
Right? But you're driving a car.
Uh-huh.
So the point I'm trying to make is that not everybody can do what South Africa do.
No.
Not everybody.
Well, I wonder why. We can take a stand.
You have to sit up on big chair.
Listen,
man.
at least Barbados telegraphed England in the Second World War and say, proceed Britain, Barbados is behind you.
Yes,
small as that. So no, listen to me. We cannot forego or reduce the importance to ourselves and the importance of ourselves to the rest of the world. We need to take a stand in favor of humanity. Jewish humanity, Palestinian humanity, Jamaican humanity, Caribbean humanity. And that we defend.
But we are Jamaican, that's our stand.
It is not a strong enough stand.
Okay. All right, well, let us see if we can put some strength in it.
Okay, because, and then in the midst now of the rape of humanity, man is going to the moon to see if he can go live there. We're going to mine the depths of the ocean, never before done. We are able to do remarkable feats of science. We are able to transplant or to reproduce human organs to prolong life. But we can't stop killing each other.
We're able to go on vacation in space.
Well, look at that. But we can't
Can you imagine?
But we can't stop killing each other. Where is the spiritual deficit that the world is suffering that we Jamaicans know say nothing goes so?
But
even despite the fact
don't just stay down at Gaza and Israel. Because the same thing is happening above that.
True.
I mean, Russia is dropping things right into into where the people live.
Yeah, but them don't know God.
I mean, I don't know God.
No, you can't know God. You can't know God.
They have their God, but not our God.
You can't know Jesus.
Oh, okay.
By doing that, there's no way you can do it. And Christian people who say that Israel is a promised land and that this is a fulfillment of prophecy, they are gravely deficient in their knowledge of Scripture, you know. However,
you're talking, when after the war we can talk that.
Well, all right.
Because they might say you're against the war.
I am against the war. Hello, have we learned anything in the 21st century from the previous centuries? More people were murdered and slaughtered in war in the 20th century than probably in about 6 or 8 centuries before that. Yeah. And we continue to starve the little children of the world, to curtail human flourishing by having to spend so much of our wealth on weapons of war.
Weapons of war.
And then now we as somebody, Sefe, as a quint, these are used to destroy life. Look at where applied to ourselves, Pernell. Tell me what you feel. Look how much money of a recent budgets in recent years we've had to spend on national security. My God.
But hold on now, because this is one thing my man not ready, so I must take up with you.
Yes, sir.
Most of the people who are spending money on now for national security is because we didn't spend a little on that in education.
Yes.
It's because you and I were privileged to come from a parent that taught us from the beginning of certain things. That money that was spent on us was not spent on them.
Yeah.
Or if it was spent, they drop out.
Yeah.
So when you told me the other day that you could educate the people, the war will stop. Then a man can educate again, they wouldn't go to school.
So what you going to do with them?
Well, you disagree what you do with them.
No, you can't. You what you're saying is that they must, and you're not alone. In the big newspapers in Jamaica, our listeners should know, there are people who promote declaring a whole set of people to be irredeemable. And when you have something which is irredeemable, what do?
No, hold on now. My mother here said that, that I'm saying if a man is irredeemable. Yeah. She don't believe in that
No, I don't believe in that either. Your mother is right. And her son must follow her.
She said that teach him.
Yeah.
Teach him.
Your mother, what a blessed woman.
And he's going to come around.
Yeah.
I have a problem.
Yeah.
Bruce Golding told me once that he would never support
capital punishment.
Death penalty. Right? And when somebody took a 4-year-old girl, rape her,
desperately bad,
and cut off her head and throw her over the Reddy's gully, and they saw John Crow eating, him say, boy.
Yeah. Look here. I
changed my mind.
There's a max.
They cannot be redeemed.
No,
brother.
there's a maxim in law that says bad cases, exceptional cases make bad law.
Make bad what?
Make bad law.
Yes.
So the case that you and Bruce spoke about, that you have described, is horrendous. Unfortunately, with the death penalty or without it, those things have continued. The death penalty is not going to stop that.
But you have not come up with anything yet.
On the contrary, you won't listen. My view is
I listen
you
carefully now.
Indeed, you have to take the youth of this country, from their earliest stages and inculcate them in the ways of peace and of order and of proper organization of society, including their homes. Coming back to that. And those who are already grown, if you want, your party loves state of emergency, I would support a state of emergency to completely re-socialize those people and to imprison those who will not take in the re-socialization. You are bound to have desperate people if you have desperate conditions in which they live.
That's step back one step to what you said before you conclude.
Yeah.
Because I'm worried about the thousands of them who wouldn't even talk to you about school, who wouldn't even talk to you about work. I tried to give someone a word about.
You told me. Yeah, but then.
And they want money.
Yes. So you can.
How you going to deal with that whole bunch there?
Absolutely. Sure. The way that the government which you favor and which I acknowledge, it began to deal with them. There have been programs in this country, pitiful little programs, which have taken young people, who are hopelessly badly behaved, and who have placed them in circumstances where they undergo radical reorientation of their minds towards correct behavior, towards work, towards skills. All of these things make a huge difference.
But you agree with that some of that is going on, even when you were there.
No, what is happening is that there is a minimum of that going on.
But when we're not in a position to
We
put
are
all of them.
we're in a much better position financially, and it would be worth every sacrifice for us to do that.
But they are not sacrificing the time to come.
No, it is not. Look here, for me to be for a person to be constrained, to be trained and reoriented in a way that they become less of a menace to themselves and a predator of others is not an option.
Hold on a minute, because I want to accept what you said here.
Yeah.
If they will come,
Yeah.
if they will take it,
Yeah.
if they will become a part of what you said,
But let me tell
fine
you-
with me.
let me tell you
what
the
about
travesty.
those who tell you go about your business, them not in it?
And then I say to them, from now on, you are under police watch.
And
the
when
more
the police bring them in like they're carrying 15 of them, take the guns from them, take the shots from them, and carry them in, and it's costing millions of dollars
yeah.
to get them to even. And some of your colleagues, when some of your legal colleagues make presentations,
Hello,
on
you
their
want
behalf-
you want less justice, Mr. Charles?
No, you see.
You can't do that.
But Rennie, this is exactly where the
And so
country is.
therefore, no,
every time that something good come up,
No, what is
you
it
have
good?
something better
No,
to
no.
say.
But
or something good to say.
No, it's not a question of coming up with something good. It cannot be good for to write off large swathes of your population.
What you going to do with them when them write you off?
No,
And they are writing us off daily.
I'm going to invoke what your mother said.
Mama, just don't remind him.
No, really. You, what we're doing on this program is we put aside superficial thinking. We're going to the essence of what we want to be. Yes, there is no question. Yes, it just if Mr. Duterte, Mr. Wamim, in El Salvador thinks that he's going to solve Salvador's social problems by locking up
all of them.
70,000 people, he's making a mistake. It cannot happen. The
Unless-
history of the world is against
Unless
him.
him keep them till they die there.
Well, keep him
Because
to,
when they come out, they is the worst.
and of course, and then if he keeps them till they die there, what kind of judgment he's going to face? He could have 90% approval from those who feel that he has made them safe. What kind of judgment before God is he going to have?
Well, what the Lord is going to say?
And do the right thing?
Well, that you are closer.
No, sir, I'm not closer. I just read the Bible.
But let's bring it back to earth.
Bible is
Millions of
very nasty.
people feel safe
Yes.
that he has taken a minority millions and put them away. Where are your position? With the majority who are happy or the minority who are unhappy?
I'm
And don't bring back the emergency in Jamaica where I was in prison.
No, I am going to, of course. Because it was all part of a futile and superficial attempt to do something that would quell violence. Did it work? It didn't. And what it did was to wreak violence upon somebody like yourself. Yes, and your life is very important, and so is the life of everyone who is created. It's not just because you have recovered and taken your position in life and so on. Others need that same opportunity. The men who were slaughtered at Green Bay. Yes?
I'll agree with you on one
Oh
thing.
my God.
Some came out and because they went there, they are worse.
You know, and look at that. And others tell the story from the grave. I mean, Pernell, we have to do better. Let me relate to you then, because Jamaica needs to take a strong stand for its own moral purposes and for our international pedigree in relation to the struggles in the world.
But Ronnie, Jamaica is one of, not the one. It's not easy for you to just say because you're one of the members of the United Nations, you're going to be able to come out and say this and say
Did
that.
I hear it right? Little St. Vincent, which is a fraction of our size, small though we be, has come out and taken a position in respect of the South African plea before the International Court of Justice. What do they have that we don't?
Which other country has come out?
Actually, you know, sir, when you stand for principle, you know, Martin Luther King taught us, you don't need company, you know. What you need is backbone. And you need something in your heart that says this is where we ought to be. And we look at what we have in Jamaica in respect of that struggle. We have Jewish people and Palestinian people.
Yeah.
Do they fight and cut up and boom each other? No, they don't.
No, but what they give us is a problem that me have.
Yeah.
I have the problem with my Jewish friends and my right.
No.
And my Palestinian friends. And I cannot support the killing.
Yeah.
So I said, all right, you guys were in team. You cause a problem.
Yeah.
They are in, and they are causing multiple. No, stop it.
Yeah. So I want my government to say that loudly, clearly, and consistently in every forum of the world. We friend up Mr. Netanyahu and Prime Minister go there. I'm not sure why. Yes. So we need to tell
Mr.
him.
Netanyahu was there when the Prime Minister went.
Yeah, man. To Israel. Yeah, man. So I want us to be able to say very clearly, this is where we are. This is what we believe it to be the right situation. And it is important that the Jamaican people do it. Why? Because we have strong principles, but also because we must be at the same time saying to ourselves, we must never walk that road again.
All right. I want to switch you to a local problem that I see. It's a cousin of what we are talking about. You and I recognize that we have more churches in Jamaica than probably any other country right now. Well,
proportionate to the population.
And more religion, different of religion. What do you call it? More what?
More denominations.
More denomination.
Yeah. Over 600 of them,
Running.
What's your point?
My point is that if we have so many pastors and so many denominations, they should be able to help to come into these communities and bring the people to church.
Amen. And a lot of them do. But what has happened in many cases is that because of history, and although I'm not criticizing their beliefs, what they've done is to separate their religion from the life of the people. Well, it's separate religion from politics, for example, separate religion from economics. And if you do that and you weaken it, then what do you think?
Explain to somebody who might associate with me. I am poor.
Yeah.
But I never go to school because I never have no time to come out. I have to hustle.
Yeah.
To get some for it because nobody employ me. I mean, I have no skill.
Yeah.
How do I accept Mr. Tway's presentation that there's a way forward for you?
Sure.
Go ahead, Mr. Tway.
For example, the churches, these many denominations in Jamaica, run 2/3 of the basic schools in this country. Yes, they run almost 40% of the public schools, primary and secondary. They contribute greatly, have contributed greatly. What they need to do is to do much more than they have done or they are doing now. And they should be able to expect that the people of religious conscience in Jamaica should advocate and say to anyone with power, with authority, with wealth or opportunity, look here, you cannot have a peaceful society when a father cannot find a job to maintain his children.
So therefore you are saying, you have said, is that, okay, we have a lot of churches, a lot of religion, a lot of pastors,
some of them
lot of deacons.
Some of them are so heavenly minded that they are no earthly use.
Heavenly what?
Heavenly minded, that they are no earthly use.
No, but you can't take away the fact that their culture is that they want to go to heaven.
Yeah, but no. But the only way you can go to heaven is by live good in life. This is it.
My man just telephoned me from radio and said, close the argument. Ronnie's on top of you now.
No. But it is a shame. We need to apply our principles, our spiritual principles, or religious ethics to the local situation. We have in the past. Yes, we have in the past. Remember the story about Bishop Gibson. There was in his time in the early 40s. There was when racial prejudice was very heavy in Jamaica. There was a particular Anthony Johnson, the late Anthony Johnson, writes it in the history of Kingston College. There was a person, a young man who was highly qualified for a job in the bank, and the bank would not normally have employed him because of his color. And Bishop Gibson said, wrote to the bank, he said, Mr. So-and-so from KC, I believe, was very qualified for the job. I'm supporting him. Words to that effect. And if he does not get the job, you will hear about it from the pulpit of St. George's Church. Yeah, don't I admire that man?
No, I'm not saying, but you admire him, but guess what?
Uh-huh.
We want to mobilize the bottom, but we don't have enough mobile units at the top to mobilize the bottom. We don't have enough Gibson.
Yes. So let us, but we have some.
So we have to start up here.
We have some. We have people, you have no idea how I admire the Salvation Army for what they do. I admire the Adventists for what the welfare work they do. I know the history of the Catholic Church and others in a similar
Don't
way.
the Adventists.
Yes. But the problem is that some of us confuse charity with justice. Charity is always good. Yes? But if
explain that, right?
Absolutely. Archbishop Helder Câmara, the Brazilian bishop, said, when I carry food to a hungry man, they say I'm godly. When I ask, why is that man hungry? They say I'm a communist. We have to relate it to the principles. What is the purpose of Jamaican society? Jamaica is a human-sized society. It's not so big you can't grasp and do meaningful things. You know that. Nor is it so small that we are all crushed up against each other. Yes. What is the purpose? We at the beginning of 2024, we must ask ourselves the question: what are we living for in Jamaica? Everybody private get through, or do we have a sense of the common good? Do we have a sense that we have been put here in this absolute Garden of Eden for a purpose?
Let us ask some of our friends for a few minutes in the diaspora. Mm-hmm. What can they do to make us have a better society, even some of what they are enjoying, although they're left here under pressure?
Yeah, but they are answering us already. They're saying we try and share what we
have accomplished.
Yes, we try and share that with our people, what we have accumulated with our people, and that's what we can do. Some others are saying something different, something more. They're saying we would like to come and invest in your country. Please make straight
our country.
Yes. Please make straight our paths. Yes. Some others are saying we would like to come and share in the crucible of politics in order to make things better for others and also to satisfy our own aspirations. Please allow us to come.
But everyone that is saying that have a byproduct.
Yeah.
Right? We are coming, but we have to either carry this or stay and keep that. So it's not as easy as you.
It's not as easy, but
the talking is easy.
But I am so happy that there are people who still want to do that.
Oh yes, in fact.
And we must make sure that we are making straight paths. We must be John the Baptist to those people. This is the Public Eye on the Bridge 99 FM. Charles and Thwaites will soon come back. Thanks for being with us on the Bridge 99 FM, that classic radio station that reaches out to the diaspora, the Caribbean diaspora, the Jamaican diaspora in particular, all over the world. The numbers are 876-551-5782. The studio line is 876-676-4996. We'd love to hear from you. View us at any time, live as we broadcast or on the recorded time at your convenience. This is Jamaica, Thwaites and Charles. We've been in this business for a long time. We're both retired public servants. Many people say to us, but hey, you have all kinds of solutions. Why didn't implement them when you were in office? Look here, when I know better, I do better, you see. That's the approach, and we did what we could. We value what others are doing and want better for our people. We're a blessed people.
You know what I told somebody?
What?
You would not have undergo and accept the sacrifice that I have made
Indeed.
in order to be where I am today.
Indeed. Mm-hmm.
And I go on to say, even if you were sent from a special place, I won't call the name, as a prophet,
Yeah.
you could not prophesy
Yeah.
that I would have left where I was
And come to where you are.
to where I am.
Yes, indeed, and that's important. People in the United States are gathering in Iowa now, and they say they're doing the Lord's work.
The what?
They're doing the Lord's work when they're campaigning for Donald Trump.
No, you're saying that.
No, they're saying that. The billboards, the signs are saying that I'm here to do the Lord's work by supporting Trump.
Well, you know what those people are saying.
Yeah.
They're calling Trump the Lord.
Yeah, well, look, they're making that association, aren't
Yeah.
they? But tell me now, yesterday, the Prime Minister of Jamaica and head of the Jamaica Labour Party indicated that we are getting ready for local government elections.
Yes.
Local government elections, just for our listeners who aren't as closely connected, have been postponed several times beyond the usual time that is prescribed for them. We appear to be...
Some of the time you agree with, like...
Yes.
Okay.
However, it appears that the postponements are over, and we will soon have local government elections.
Yes.
And so I'm asking the question on my own behalf and behalf of many, many others. What local government good for?
No. Well, I'm going to ask you a question that you are going to answer for the Prime Minister. If I don't know what local government is good for, why are you calling it? Why are you supporting him, calling on him to call it?
Yeah.
You,
Yeah.
Mr. Tweed.
No,
I'll back you up now.
No, you can. I'm going to try and reply because I really think about vision for local government, but not local government as it is now. Local government has to be seriously reformed.
Okay, so you like I do. I am not opposed to local government.
No,
But
I support local government.
I don't understand why, when I was MP,
Uh-huh.
I had to be in charge of water,
Uh-huh.
roads,
Yeah.
bushing,
Yeah.
brought down bridge,
Uh-huh.
everything,
Uh-huh.
and carry the councillor with me.
Uh-huh.
What's the use of having a councillor?
Yeah.
But he said him don't have a budget.
Yeah.
So therefore, I come and say, but we need a budget, and so we have to get more taxes.
Uh-huh.
So come
But
on.
Right now, the councils get good pay, relatively, and the councils have access to some resources. Yes, but
Yes.
then the people are crying out. The garbage in my area is uncollected most of the time. The roads are rutted. The Prime Minister is promising everything now.
Ronnie,
The street lights don't work.
Ronnie, let me
So
do
what
that.
are we doing?
Ronnie,
Has anybody done an objective assessment of local government's utility and their efficiency?
I think if you call Scree Bertram right now,
Yeah.
he would tell you that he had an opportunity to do so.
Uh-huh.
And I have read some of what he said. But I will tell you this. It is not as easy to do as it's easy to talk.
No, but
Because, Ronnie, here now, how do you clean up Kingston and say you're a councillor?
Uh-huh.
Where you get the millions and the same people who you cleaned last night dirty it up tonight.
I can argue the point, but I can't follow you, because if I followed you, I would be hopeless, and I would be legitimizing the situation now, where for many people they see no point in voting for local government, because local government does not begin to meet their needs.
Okay, so you say you're not hopeless. So tell me why you're not hopeless, and what can be done to spread that hopelessness.
Yes. First of all,
I mean that non-hopelessness to me.
Well, that hope. If I trust that there are those who are willing to ask themselves, can we rethink all of the responsibilities of local government? In my view, public sanitation is properly the responsibility of local government. Yes?
Should be.
Should be.
Yes.
And if it isn't,
And they should get a budget
sure.
to take care of that. One thing.
And be held to the responsibility for that. Yes? I do not think that they should be responsible for roads because they do not have the technical capacity to deal with that. There are many other things to do with planning permission, care of the elderly, the infirm, that are perfectly appropriate for the base of the society. Yes? Mr. Siaga years ago relegated local government to the care of cemeteries, remember? Mm-hmm. And put at least a corporate area in the charge of two commissioners, Mr. Bird and Mr. Rodriguez. Yes? Look at the cemeteries now. The cemeteries are in desperate state. The parish council can't even manage that.
Where do you stand up and see them?
I stand up on Spanish Town Road and look at Maypen Cemetery.
And you have seen a cemetery?
Yes, sir.
And
I go in there.
Where a cemetery was?
Yeah, where a cemetery was.
Yes.
No, this is nonsense.
Yeah, but what's running?
So what is the essential function of local government that can be targeted, can be so stated that the public of this country says, boy, I really must choose my councillor, I must vote because he or she is going to try to do the following. I can hold them responsible and accountable for the following.
Ronnie.
Yeah.
I have three things here.
Yes, sir.
I was a councillor in Denham Town for 2 terms.
That's why I'm asking you.
And fortunately, the minister, the MP was Edward Siaga.
Yeah.
And I think that what was coming to Denham Town, came through him or with his assistants.
Yeah.
Take a councillor out in Macedonia, where I come from. The roads. Him don't have no money for even 2 miles of roads.
No.
Water, even if you go and carry it, put up another parish tank, him don't have no money.
So what's the point?
Well, I know. If a wood bridge that was put up, like I see, the television station leave from Kingston and yes, bridge that broke down. They pass all the good bridges. Yeah. They couldn't even show you some of the good bridges. They show you one broke down board bridge.
Yeah, but
but this is not correct. It's not right. And don't demonstrate emotionally.
No, it's not emotion, but that bridge needs fixing.
Of course, but who can fix it?
But no. But you see, you are of the view that we have limited resources. Too limited resources. My view is if you spend what we have correctly, you can do much more, like fix that bridge.
Ronnie, they are not.
Hello,
there's
sir.
How many bridges do you think like that right here now?
There are many, but what we are doing, look at them. Look at the amount of money we are wasting. Vast amounts of money. Look at them. No, we overrun budgets on road repairs.
Yeah, but when you overrun budgets on road repairs, it's straight, right? Or the budget was not properly fixed.
Whatever it is, whichever one, somebody is accountable. It must having a budget and committing yourself to that, and then it becomes 3 times that. Cannot be responsible spending of money. The situation with the hospital in Montego Bay could never be that. Multiples of what was originally produced. If there may be good reason for some of it, but also there isn't. You know the system is riven with corruption. How you think that these things at the local government?
Listen, I've heard you and all you're talking about.
You don't believe it. The public is fully believe
that.
But
the same thing I'm hearing about Latin America, South America,
so
corruption, Africa.
Of course.
The most.
So what are you saying? It doesn't exist, or we mustn't worry about it because it's
everywhere? No, that's not what I'm saying.
What are you saying then?
What I am saying is that we're just using the word corruption to corrupt everything.
No, I'm not saying that. What I am saying is that there are obvious, palpable evidence of this. You have this situation in Jamaica right now. It's very current. Our listeners who follow the news may pick it up. Where 2 highly respected people, yes, apparently breach the permits that they are given by the local authority to build some apartments. And everybody's, oh my God, we have to investigate this, we have to do this. Look there, that is par for the course. It happens all the while. And it happens all the while because somebody get a payoff in order to blink their eye and to go there and say everything is okay, when it is obviously in breach of what was originally the thing. The system, the public of this country has this deep and distressing conviction that governance in this country, local government and central government, is corrupt.
Yeah, but
you can't just say because it is everywhere we're not going to notice it.
So what would you change for them? What, for example?
For local government, I'll be very clear.
Yeah.
Local government must be given responsibility for public cleansing.
More responsibility?
Yes, sir. They have none now.
They have none now?
None now. When my councillor, when I was a member of parliament, had uncollected garbage for weeks in some of the communities, all she could do was the same thing that was all I could do. Phone up Metropolitan Parks and Markets and beg them to send a truck.
But that's what local government in Jamaica is, to tell the MP what is going on.
So what? How that helps? How does that help? I want somebody who has responsibility, who can be held accountable, who can do a public relations program and a public education, not public relations. That's what present people are good at. A public education program so that what you cleaned up last night doesn't come back the same the day after. All of these, this is work for. This is vital work for the parish councillor.
But stop right there. You might have been different because your constituency was smaller than one of the divisions in my constituency.
Yes.
So I had four or five times the space to look at, to walk,
acknowledge. It's not 4 times
so
the people.
What you're saying a while ago, the MP don't have that.
But
the MP don't have.
So then come back to the position that you and I hold as a foundation.
We didn't have quarter of what was needed
and therefore,
in the constituency.
Therefore, why not? Why not? So Jamaica rank and poor?
No, Randy, you know why not?
No, I don't. I am convinced.
Where would they get the money from?
We have a primary surplus. We have revenue exceeding budget. My own conviction is that at least a third of the money that we spend in the budget is misspent. Yes? What we don't have is the political will and the courage and the deep, deep respect for humanity that says that we are going to give much better value and we are going to at all times observe the common good rather than individual effort and individual desires.
My father would say, although we are full of talk.
Yes, sir.
We can talk.
Yes, sir. I accept that.
We are such a talker. Because trust me, you move me and put you, and you move you and put me.
Because if the system, if the car is not made to go the distance, no matter who the driver is, that's the whole point. As far as I'm concerned.
No matter how I push the clutch.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, Mr. Holdis yesterday, big argument about how ready everybody is. Okay, so you win the election. What are you going to do? What you get it for?
No, hold on, Randy. Let's just because somebody is asking the question. Okay, so you win an election. Where you going to get money to do what you are saying is to be done?
But then...
Hold on. You're going to raise taxes?
No.
You're going to borrow money?
If you have to.
And find what to pay back.
Look here, we borrow money all over the place. We borrow money from people when they do work and we don't pay them for 3-4 months. We borrow money from IMF. We borrow money from the Chinese people. We borrow money. The question is not borrowing.
It's borrow or owe.
Same thing.
We owe them.
When you owe a man
they
something,
can owe more.
He will lend you.
Of course.
When you owe a man something,
I hide from him.
Him will lend you. Yes, him never mean it so, but that him do. Yeah. No. My conviction is that we have the resources to make life better for all of us. But we don't have the political will to do it.
Let me answer that, because the answer is yes. As far as I'm concerned,
nobody in this country need to hunger and live on street.
Well, if some of the people who are throwing food in the garbage
Yes, sir.
and throw the garbage on the street
Yes, sir.
were sharing it like
Yeah.
my mother used to do to Auntie
Oh,
Di.
God.
Every Sunday.
I've never forgotten that.
She had to go up to Auntie Di.
Yes. So why we don't, first of all, train up the youth to be like your mother? Two, why don't we have a proper system of welfare that takes care of people like Auntie Di, all of them, and not have her only to depend on private charity?
But don't we have something like
though
that,
it is.
Ronnie?
Daddy, you know it no go so. We have something, yes.
It's not broad enough. It's not enough.
No.
It's not enough. But every day more people are coming on board.
We spend nearly $500,000 for one grand gala for the 60th anniversary of independence, and people on the street can't eat.
So you're saying
Me
that...
love that. Me love the grand gala, you know.
No, but
if it is a choice,
No,
when you have a choice to make
let me hold you on that.
of your money, where you spend it on?
Let me hold you on that.
The
Are
circus
you
or
saying
the bread?
as far as you're concerned, put away the $1 and go feed Auntie Di?
Yeah. Yes.
Put away what else?
Anything that what we are always to remember is that humanity is sacred, and the common good, the good of the greatest number, is what must be the deciding factor.
You know, any government who try to say to the people what you have just said, and say we have to double taxes. In order
I'm not saying that.
But where are you going to get money from
I'm
to
telling
spread
you,
it out?
the money, look at this system. The system that we have now is open to the wastage of money. When I was in Parliament, I suggested that we should at least take 2 ministries a year and do what is called zero budgeting on them. When you get the big yellow book with all of the government's expenses, all they're doing for the most part is carry over 1 year to the other year to the other year, the same money. You can't disagree with me that the big extra money that we're giving to public servants now, yes, very good, but is it reflected in increased productivity?
Yeah, but you see, you have a problem that I don't have.
What is that?
And I can't solve your problem.
What?
You have a problem with do it this way, but you don't have the way to do it. You don't have the means to do it.
But no, I believe...
And I'm worried about that.
No, we have the means to do it.
That
is why you and I got into politics.
Yeah, but...
It is political life that is supposed to achieve
that's why
these
you're
ends.
out.
Maybe so. Yes.
That's one of the reasons why you're out.
That's so. But
you come out as a young boy.
Hardly. But the fact is that we have to change the political culture in order to be able to better achieve what we have.
Do you know that Bustamante and Norman Manley were saying the same thing you just say?
And I bless them, and
No. That
I'm
we have
happy
to
follow back
change.
on them.
And every prime minister, every minister, every MP that comes and every councillor is saying the same thing.
So what?
And the people know when they get at halfway tree, they say they believe Ronnie because him going to do it.
Yeah.
And Ronnie gone and John going to do
so
it.
Why? So why all of us?
It hasn't been done.
Why not? Why all of us fail? Why all of us fail?
You answer that question.
Because we're spending the money in the wrong way and we don't have the right priorities.
Yeah, but the way the money is being spent, if you shift it from there just to where you want to go, that's going to cause a problem.
Maybe it's going to cause a problem. I may lose my seat. Yes? And if that is so, it is worthwhile losing my seat.
Yeah, but Ronnie, you are such a nice guy that you always say, if I lose my seat, it's all right.
Hey, Jesus.
Me don't want to lose for my seat.
No, and I don't
so
want
me
you
not making it all right.
No, but that can't lead you to a situation of where all you have is a seat and no activity, no future. When more than 50% of this country look upon us politicians and say, boy, you could have called yourself most honorable and big honorable and every honorable, and you could have give yourself double on a joint and triple time you pay, and you could have tell me all the good things that you do. I don't check for you at all because you don't touch my life.
All right, I want you to talk about.
And you want us to be satisfied with that, and yet neither the party you support nor the party that I support, yes, is sufficiently committed. When last you hear a discussion in Parliament, the Parliament you used to preside over, when last you hear a discussion about anything like this? No, never.
Yeah, but you see,
So
neither
what are you
you.
good for? So you can win the election, you know. You
No,
can,
but neither you nor I
Mr. Montague
have
can
to go outside to halfway tree to beg the people to vote
look
for
here.
us.
Look here.
And,
The only person of the only purpose of a person voting for any of us is hope.
to make their life better,
And the fact
better
is,
for their children,
yes,
better
sir.
for their
And the
family,
fact is
better
that
for their community,
the fact is
better
that
for the
a
whole of the
decreasing
church.
number of people
Yeah.
in this country believe that what we stood for and stood up to is worth it, is able to handle it. This is the most embarrassing thing about being a politician now, that the majority of the people don't business with you. It's not that they disagree with you, you know. It's not that they favor the other side, you know. It's that they don't check for you at all.
Yeah, but the reason why they don't check for you, Rennie, is that when we stood up at halfway tree and tell them we're going to make garbage take up, we're going to clean the gullies, we're going to send the children to school, we're going to take care of the elderly, we're going to say, you and I did that, and them say, Mark, if vote for you and try him.
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, you did what you could. I have regrets, but not a sense of failure. And I'm sure the same is true for you.
Yeah, but that's the right thing. You have done what you could.
Yeah.
What about those who don't
I-
because you couldn't do it?
well,
they are the one who is a problem.
And I am now convinced that the reason why you could only do a small portion of what needed to be done and what you hope to achieve is because there are constraints that we need to move. Yes? It is embarrassing that there should be any discussion in Parliament about the Integrity Commission. Embarrassing. The Integrity Commission should be left alone to do its work.
I want you to touch that thing.
When people see that, what do you think they feel? You think, oh boy, them fan out the Integrity Commission, you know, are trying to trap them. Oh God, sorry for them. Let's change it. You know what the people feel? The people say, listen, now, you know why them talk all them talk? Because them have something to hide. Them take up them gone into the business where them shouldn't go into.
All right, I have
See,
I have a challenge for you.
Challenge me.
There are 63 members of parliament. Out of that, a maximum between 15 and 16 or 15 and 17 become ministers. Eh?
All right.
And I have some responsibility as to where budget goes.
No, we make it so.
Yeah, but hold on a minute. Because over the other side, how many captain of, what do you call it now?
Captain of what?
The private sector.
Uh-huh.
How many thousand of them we have?
I don't know.
Okay, well, we have thousands of them.
Yes, well.
And they control more than any politician could ever do. Yet,
So what is it?
no, the point is this, that government is corrupt, but it's only 19 a year.
No, sir, it's not that.
How our government get to be corrupt?
Because for a number of reasons. Some people just outright thief. Some people accept bribe and
Out of the 19
No.
or out of the 64?
out of whoever.
No. Because, no. I want to talk about quantity now.
Yeah.
Because I'm saying that, for example, there are two forces in the country. The political force, the other sectors.
No, there's
right?
much more than that. But I understand why you isolate these big ones. In my view, one of the things that frustrated me as a minister of government was that so much of the money, over $100 billion that was devoted to education from the public's pocket every year, so much of it was such that I couldn't influence how it was spent. Much of it was being spent properly, but there was a significant portion of it which I thought could be spent in a much better way.
Couldn't we say that for every one of the ministries?
Maybe so, but my frustration was that I could do very little about it.
But
No,
who do much? Let's take man.
you and I could, if we were together.
Yeah.
Yes, if you were in education if I was in education when you were minister, or vice versa, and we decided to sit down and do something together, we could do it better than either of us could.
But we are thinking so now because we're not facing the voters next week.
No, even the voters, the
And
best chance.
if they pick you, I pick me, we probably could talk.
Well, that's all right.
Right?
I'm quite happy.
You know, I use the word probably because guess what?
I'm quite happy to serve with you as minister. You know?
But yes.
If I have anything to give to give to education, no, just because of my experience.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm quite happy to work with Minister Fable Williams. You know,
I just touched that. Let me tell you one little one that
I don't want her job. I had that job.
Let me tell you a little one that
it doesn't matter who has the job. It matters what we get done.
Ronnie, I was Minister of Local Government.
One life we have.
I was Minister of Local Government.
All of us soon dead.
Yes, I was Minister of Local Government. And when I get down to St. William Grand Park,
yes, sir,
Higglers were all the way around it.
Yeah.
And we were there disposing their black scandal bag with feces.
Aye.
Over in the park.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay? So you could smell it from a far away. So as Minister of Local Government, you say, oh, Raddy Twait is not here, but he would be happy to hear that has to change.
Yeah.
So I said to my permanent secretary, let's put up 4 toilets.
Yeah.
And each corner that they can throw the things in there.
Use it.
After we put up the toilets, he come and said, Minister, what we have done is create 4 areas that is worse than the big place.
No, sir.
I said, hold on, no. It's because you don't know how to do it. So I called Miss Birdie, Mask Clad, and Mr. Brown. I said, Miss Birdie, I work? No, sir, Miss Birdie, I have something for you. You see that toilet over there? I'm giving it to you. Huh? And you see them something there? You have toilet paper, you have hand cloth. I said, what? And you see that chair? Guess what, Miss Birdie? You are charging 10 cents for everybody who are going. What, sir? I want you the money. I feel money that. I said, what? I said, man, Ronnie, transform. Because here were 4 people, and people were leaving the market and them going out to the toilet because it clean out.
Of course.
Toilet paper, you have water.
So you have your own solution.
Exactly.
So why we can't do that all around in so many areas?
You're throwing that for me now.
Yes, sir.
And I'm taking up praise because that was a small one.
Yeah.
When we had the power cut, I have a wife, you see, who used to say, when the power cut, boom, she said, Pernell, you again? I said, what? You know, it's a light gone. You understand? You see the difference now? It becomes me who caused the power to cut. And let's take what you just drink a little water. Can you tell me how much 100 or 1,000 of people that water passed through in order for you to drink it here?
Indeed.
Nobody, when you go in the bathroom, you just whoop and flush.
Think of that.
When you go in, you just turn on and wash.
Indeed.
Where water come from?
Yes, sir.
Miles.
And
come from Blue Mountain.
Sure. Point made. A break on the public eye. This is Bridge 99 FM. When we come back, Dr. Orville Taylor of the Faculty of Social Sciences at the University of the West Indies. Should a university, and this particular one, should it be more active in informing, serving public policy? What's the record and what's the ideal? You'll only get that on the Bridge 99 FM. Soon come. Thanks very much for joining us. This is the Bridge 99 FM to the Jamaican diaspora all over the world. This is the public eye. It's Thwaites and Charles. Dr. Orville Taylor, welcome.
Guilty as charged.
Mr.
Thank you for having me.
What a pleasure. We're grateful to welcome the host of Hotline, the notable author on labor matters. And are you still the dean of the faculty?
No, I'm not. I don't have a... No, I'm just in my substantive post of senior lecturer.
Excellent.
I've done my penance.
Indeed. I'm told it is a penance.
It is absolutely.
Now, you call up, in an article in the Sunday Gleaner, you call up the name of one Honorable Pernell
I haven't
Charles.
greeted Pernell. Pernell Senior, how are you, sir?
Mr.
Taylor.
Mr. Taylor, Look
Tell
here.
me.
You have caused some problem.
That's all right. I'm noted for that.
I'm going to steal 5 minutes of the time between you and Ronnie Tweed.
No problem.
When I became Minister of Public Utilities and Transport,
Yes.
there were no men working at nights in the telephone companies. There were only women. I said, foolishness, number one. There were no men pushing the heavy carts near Jamaica. Only women. I said, foolishness.
Yes.
Then I said to my permanent secretary, how many women we have in fire service? He said, no. So I said, when you have a fire and you got a whole heap of old people and young people, is it man, how they get out? He said, the man never have to put on anything. I said, that's true, no. You understand? I go and trade them.
Telephone company.
And telephone company. And running.
Fire person.
And listen, this same guy, Taylor here, encouraged me. Right? So when he's calling up my name now, it take long, but him did help. Right? Ronnie, a man came to me and he said, Mr. Charles, I'm a Seventh-day Adventist for last month. And I lose my job yesterday. Why? Because the man says, I can't work Saturday. I can't get the job. Go home. And Mr. Taylor, in his presentation, say that cannot work. How you call it now? Well, you shift.
Flexi time.
But there were many people in the case who said, but Mr. Charles, said, I will kill him because me can't go to church Sunday, I work Saturday. And
you go.
Master, me become big man now, I said, I have 5 Seventh-day Adventists here.
Colonel Senior.
And I have several.
You're outing me, but thank you very much. Right. Yes, thank you very much.
I didn't know this at all.
Yes.
Well, but I know that you have you've been a public servant, and you certainly have.
I'm one of the few people who left the Ministry of Labour with the level of knowledge that I have. Well, hardly anybody, and went left of center instead of right.
Okay, you went to the University of the West Indies. Dr.
Yes,
Orville Taylor, what is a youth in the kind of context that we live in the Caribbean?
I'm very, very clear about that, Ronnie. Very clear.
What is the purpose of a university?
A university is supposed to develop minds, to develop ideas, full stop. Now, but a public university, and whatever you might want to call itself, it belongs to the people. The majority, the UWI Mona is the largest single recipient of the government of Jamaica's budget.
Yes.
It therefore means that the UWI Mona in particular must develop knowledge that is useful to the policy makers, hopefully to the policy takers. But you must do your part as an academy and individual lecturers and almost every area. Never mind the fact that some people might think that humanities, doesn't produce the kind of knowledge that is usable. It's not true. Almost everything that is produced can be used at the policy level. My problem is, and I said it very clearly, and sometimes it has to do with people within the university itself, but my problem is that there's a lot of knowledge that has been produced, whether it by publication or otherwise, that is available, that has been available, that that I think that policymakers really have not made the use of it. And when people who have been in a position where they are policymakers and they either were aware of it or not aware of it, and you know what, it's no excuse not to be aware of it, because you must seek the knowledge and ask where it is. I remember Ronnie Thwaites, you, when you were Minister of Education, you asked certain and certain questions. I remember that particular forum when you were talking about the total number of persons who were terminated and you had or disciplined, and 80% of those, it was because of improper procedure in the education sector. I remember that. You saw the knowledge elsewhere. I remember that.
Well,
I remember Pernell Charles right here with you. I remember Pernell saying to me, "Look, Orville, I wanted to put something together for me because I have an intention of doing this thing with the LRIDA and a number of other things.
Wow. Well, this is a good example.
Just 1 minute.
Yeah.
Mr. Taylor,
Sir,
I have a problem with what you have just said.
tell me.
The university should be communicating, and the rest of us should be learning. Something
Yes.
has never come out. When I heard that there's a man named you, and that you can help me with LRID,
Labor Relations
Yep.
Industrial Disputes Act.
I look for you.
Yeah.
Came for you.
Yeah, but are all of us open to that? When I was in
You,
the
you
ministry,
didn't. You didn't come as no labor, right?
I don't know what that
Did it
means.
come as no
I did
PNP?
know what. Yeah.
Let me remind you of one that you don't remember.
Yes.
That you had to come to the Ministry of Labor with an attorney or a union man. You couldn't go to the IDT
Right.
unless you have a QC.
Right. And in any
You-
event,
do you remember what you told me to do? Hold on, no. Why was I able? Because, Taylor, you were one of those who make yourself available. You wasn't a PNP or a labor, right?
Yeah.
You were a professor, and you were willing to help. So
Well-
therefore, Ronnie, I was able to say to a man who came to the Ministry of Labor, who have no money, no attorney, and the minister can say that he goes to the IDT without an attorney, and the Ministry of Labor provide a labor officer to go with them.
right. So
Taylor is
yes.
Taylor
But let me
is
just say this.
He's
Let me
the
say this
author.
because Pernell made a point, and I don't want to gloss over it. It's an important one. He said that there's an obligation on the part of the university itself. Now, I say to the credit of Ken Hall. Ken Hall had research days, and he brought to focus the work that the university was carrying out. There are some of us who are academic activists. I invented the word, right?
academic activists, my goodness.
Academic activists,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
Who
Interesting.
are very sensitive about certain things because, Ronnie, I spent 7 years at St. George's College, and this ad majorem Dei gloriam is not a simple a joke tagline,
No, it isn't.
right? So I understand that those of us who are privileged, I was educated on a free education at St. George's College,
Yes.
and I grew up in an oasis at St. George's, surrounded by inner city. The front of the school is PNP, the back part of it is JLP, whatever that might have meant. But I understood that with those of us who get the privilege to do things and to make a difference, we should. And so therefore, when we have our knowledge, we don't keep it under a bushel. Part of the problem, though, and I'm going to say that, I said it at the end of the column. Unfortunately, because we're a plantation, and the plantation legacy is there, there are still people who are crabs in the barrel, and I don't mean crab circle. Well, that too, if you wish. Right? Right? But there are persons, unfortunately, who are either so jealous or petty that they don't play the significance of people's work within the university.
Oh. Wow.
Let me say this. I can say this on national radio. Just imagine an external reviewer. You're an attorney, Ronnie. Colonel, you're a trade unionist. Just imagine an external reviewer looking at a body of work. And I'm quoting it, and I'm saying it for the public because it's going to become even more public. Imagine an external reviewer looking at a body of knowledge and saying, this body of knowledge produced by this particular individual should be taken by a university such as UWI as evidence of its worthwhile scholarship in this area, and it's a must study or something of the sort.
Wow.
And then a committee comes together and starts with the assumption that that's not a good report, and ends by saying it's a negative report.
Oh, that's crazy.
I'm not telling you that I can call the names another time. I'm telling you that's what they did.
Yeah, but
I'm just saying to you, the university is also part of the problem.
Yeah.
Individuals there.
But so how can we square the circle? Why is it that there is a significant body of scholarship? Professor Vassiani and your good self have pointed out recently that they've been very detailed as to areas of academic inquiry, which have been for the public purposes. When I served as minister, I had the benefit. I made an early decision, Pernell, that somebody from the Faculty of Education at the university ought to be a member of the executive consultation at the ministry. And
but I don't know, because sometimes it's just not expedient.
Yes.
And I've had it from both sides. Now, Pernell Charles, I tell you, was always open as Labour Minister, maybe because of where he's coming from.
Yes.
But I can tell you this without fear of contradiction,
Yes.
that
Good.
I tried very hard to have dialogue with Labour ministers over the years.
Mm-hmm.
There's a particular Labour minister who I wrote a letter to. And I said to this minister, look, I grew up in this ministry. I want to be part of this process. I'm not asking for money. Just help me. Just listen to me. Invite me. I wrote something, put it on the person's desk. I'm trying to be gender neutral, so you don't have an idea who it is yet. Put it on the person's desk. Totally ignored. I sent another copy, and the administrative assistant said to me, look here, Orville used to work here. I put the thing on the desk. There are 3 copies of it. I waited. I wasn't heard. I give you another example. And why I put myself in this, because I know what I'm talking about. That flexi time thing, I was never. Pernell talked to me about it, yes. But you know that flexi time thing in whatever. It's the ILO that asked me to do it. It was the first of its type in the third world. The
Really?
ILO asked me to do it, not the Ministry of Labour.
International Labour Organization.
It's after the government of Jamaica and the Minister of Labour and his team went to the ILO to seek the technical assistance. The ILO came to Jamaica saying they're going to run a local seminar.
Yeah.
And they're going to run a local seminar, and then they called me at the last moment and said, oh, by the way, the ministry knows that you are the one who's presenting it on behalf of the ILO. I said, no, the ministry never said anything to me. So I turned up, and the minister was coming in on the day, and I was to be the main presenter, and I walked over, and I can't tell you, as a decent Catholic boy, what I said in his ears. But I'm saying to you, that's one of the examples.
But that's frightening, man.
It's embarrassing.
So I need to ask the question, of us all, what is it in the political praxis that prevents the seamless interaction between the university and the state? I used to refer to UWI as the thinking arm of the state. That was how I would justify the $10 billion that is being contributed.
It's supposed to be, but the problem has a number of parts. And Ronnie, I'm very firm on this issue of campaign donations.
Oh.
And I am, because there are times, if you look at the timeline, in another forum I might speak about it. But some of my research and the policy recommendations I made, including the 19 pages in my book, 19 pages of recommendation, right, are inconsistent with some of the honors that were given to persons who are carrying out some of these things which are inimical to the Jamaican people.
Whoa.
So I've asked a simple question. How come this was not acted upon when we saw the crisis? Let me say one thing in particular, and I'm hoping Pernell Jr. will respond because he's a Labour Minister now, and I have a report there. I have a 90-page document that's in the ministry now that I'm waiting to hear from, right? 90 pages about the security industry. I made comments about the security industry as far back as 2002 in conferences, in publications, which asks Professor Neville. There are documents there.
Yes.
About what should or should not take place, and the correlation between the way in which security workers and workers on the whole are treated and the likely level of homicide in the country. I talked about that, Ronnie.
Yes. But
Pernell knows I've talked about those things too.
Well, can I just
sure, please. Yes.
Listen, let me tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
I was, a man in Ying.
Yes, Professor
Neville. Yes.
Neville,
Okay. I asked him to accompany me to the ILO.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
To guide me as to what to say and what not to say.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is with some of us, politicians and of the university, you come like well, you have a top, let me call his name, Thompson. Bright guy, but he comes out as a PNP man. Monroe comes out as a PNP man. This man here, this one that we're talking to now, him don't care whether you're PNP or JLP.
So where does politics come into this?
No, it's not only from the political side, it's also from the university side.
Yes.
I'm telling you.
So
Taylor was able to expose
to his credit. To his credit, but when are we going to stop classifying people first and foremost as?
But they classify you
their
too.
politics.
They classify you.
No, undoubtedly.
But Ronnie, it's not just that. It's not just the labor right PNP politics, you know. I'm saying to you that the University of the West Indies, being a vestige of the plantation, like every part of society, right, also suffers from this kind of nonsense.
Exactly.
But then
because I'm saying to you, follow me here.
Whoa.
That the comment
Disturbing.
about that body of knowledge, right, came from within the university.
Yes,
it's not external people, you know.
No. So
it's not external people. It's not the PNP or JLP.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's not the PNP or JLP. I was invited to go to the House of Parliament in 2019 to present on the OSH bill. And I did.
Occupational safety.
Safety and health. Yes, I did. And I was invited to both sides. Right. And I'm saying to you, and that occurred, right, a month after that occurred. Follow me here. Elements within the university itself pulled that report out, had an extraordinary meeting, and started with the assumption that that was a negative one and said that's a negative comment.
Are you embarrassed to say who invited you in 2019? Are you embarrassed to say who was the minister?
In 2019? I don't have to say that.
Colonel Charles was the minister. And let me just tell you, Ronnie.
In 2019, you weren't the minister, you were the speaker.
2019? When was the election?
2016. You became the speaker in 2016. So
it
was before
I invited him.
Good.
Right? The point is this, that you don't have very many of them up there, like himself and Ying, who make a presentation to public people.
Part of the problem too, you know, is you have to ask a question, where else did some of the people who have the ideas, where else did they work? What else did they do?
Okay, help me though. but in the few minutes we have left, Orville, how do we make this thing better? Because the arena,
like what you're doing now,
yes,
Ronnie. What we're doing now.
The arena of ideas and the dedication to apply scholarship. This is not some kind of thing of that you come and go. It is vitally necessary. The Pernell and I joked about the national priorities. My own conviction is that certainly between a quarter and a third of the national budget could, if informed by better policies, achieve far more effective results than it does now.
Of course, absolutely.
When I hear is it the World Bank this morning or which agency saying that by 2025, yes, Haiti's GDP growth will probably exceed Jamaica's. When I see 1.5% is all that we can achieve after prodigious reforms and efforts in the public service, we need each other.
Well, so let's go right back to the beginning, very beginning. And whenever I'm asked to do these company interventions, etc., one of the last place I saw you was at Jean's funeral.
Yes.
And because that, I try not to make there be any gap between the things I think and say and do.
Yes.
Right. So, because Jean Brown was somebody who I just rated as a person, and because I believe, not at the theoretical level, in this thing called decent work, because decent work is pretty much based on the teachings of Jesus.
Of course.
It's not just a map to go into some obscure place that the pastor imagined that heaven might be.
Stuff.
Right. So, decent work, and here's what it is, and I've had this conversation with my economist people from time to time. There's a body of knowledge regarding the relationship between decent work on the one hand and positive social outcomes on the other hand.
Whoa.
Meaning, and you don't even need any great amount of research, it's intuitive. If you have a set of people who you treat properly at the workplace, remember, we have two Labour parties in Parliament, right? So, built on the back of the Jamaican workers. So even though you might find one side taking credit for certain things, the LRIDA and ETRPA are JLP-initiated legislation which were brought to fruition under the PNP. It means that they represent the consensus, right? So we are a country where elections are won by the working class, not the middle class, the working class. So when the working class shifts to or away from you, you win or you lose an election. That is what has happened. So decent work, that is decent work, which is based on equality, freedom of association, the right to belong to trade union and do collective bargaining or whatever, protection from arbitrary dismissal, fine, have opportunities for advancement. That's basic. What has happened, unfortunately, over the last 2.5 decades is that we have seen an increase in employment, but an increase in indecent work. In 2000, at a Mona conference, 2001 at the Mona conference, 2002 at the Mona conference, 2002 at a Mona School of Business conference, and Pernell was in that room when a certain individual and I almost broke into a fight. We were up in each other's face. He was there, and Pernell and Lloyd Goodley came and came between us. Because, and I was saying, I was warning them, it was 2002, 22 years ago, and I said that any kind of attempt to follow this pattern where indecent work is increasing, and that indecent work for me meant having people on a disguised contract, we would see an increase in the level and a sustained level of violence in the society. And because there's relationships, let me tell you why. First of all, people who are treated well at the workplace will work well and work hard,
right.
even if the wages are not impressive, because they will put their shoulders in, knowing fully well that when they leave the work, it's not Halliburton. But on the other hand, when you abuse people at work, abuse is like water. It will find its way to the lowest source. So you abuse a woman at work, she's going to go home and abuse her 16-year-old son, who falls in that 70% of boys who are not at UA, or you know where they are.
Yeah.
Right. It's a no-brainer. So while we may build gated communities and feel good, or we may see a reduction in the number of industrial disputes being reported to the Ministry of Labor, for example, right? What you may very well be seeing is an increase in the level of social conflict. Because remember that you can't go before the tribunal or the minister unless you're a worker. That is, you work under contract of employment. In 2002, I saw the danger coming out of that baseline work I did for the ILO. Nobody took it up until Pernell in 2007.
Whoa.
Mr. Taylor, could you just stay there for a second? I want to say something to you.
Yes.
How we
I use you, and I never need to apologize. But the reason I grab you and Ying is because you knew what I did not know. And I make you carry me and make me a minister. Right? Many of the other people don't recognize these guys.
So I'm asking the
and
question:
I'm not able
how are we going to deal with it? The political structures in Jamaica.
It's not one way.
No,
because sometimes when
Orville
you
is
call
accepting
them,
that. Orville is accepting that.
Yeah.
The problem he acknowledges that the university
And he has
much,
tried.
much to step up with.
He has tried.
But I mean, we have a new principal now.
Yes.
Certainly, the country is crying out for progressive, enlightened policies. Is it on a one-on-one contact base?
I don't know, but I can't speak for the principal. But let me tell you, the show that you're doing,
yeah.
Being in a position where people believe that you're talking the truth, having free press. So never mind all the nonsense people talk about Jamaica being a failed country, etc. We are a robust democracy, and this thing, being able to speak your mind.
Yeah.
To have a show like this or to do hotline the way that I do it on Radio Jamaica without having somebody turning up and saying, "Hey Taylor, you talk too much. Come with us. We are the military." Yeah. Right?
No,
we are able to do this. And so I don't yes, and so we are able to do this and we are therefore able to bring stuff up.
Yes.
Right? And so guess what? You don't want to act, we embarrass you into action. And which is why we write some of us write books which, books you can pick up off the shelf, separate and apart from the other types of refereed publication that nobody knows about because it's in some journal where some people set up certain things and they have those conversations among themselves. When you write something in a book and you put it on a shelf, and you have a launch and you say, the book is over there, open it and read it.
No, you use the book to catch door. Hold on. When you invited me to come and hear your presentation, I walk out of that room and say, guess what? I don't want him to know, but I am going to move up using exactly what him say.
Yeah,
and hold on. When I don't even you recommended Ying to come with me,
Oh.
Yes.
Right? And you guys made me, and you can write it if you want.
Yes.
But I believe that what I did when I heard my friend Brown in Senate giving me some credit, I know that I must have done something. Yeah. But it was these fellows who
you're very generous and correct in according them the kudos and praise for doing so.
Ronnie, the truth is this, that the rest of us, when I told some guy, he say, you gone up there too?
But the central issues, for example, of the society, which come out in all kinds of studies, Orville, or in the broad assessment of macroeconomy. Where else do we turn but to the university for
yes.
They don't turn.
Yeah, well,
they don't turn.
Right. So here, what? So you turn to the university.
Yeah.
But first of all, there are some ministers, who don't ask.
Yeah.
Right, because it's not everybody will have the same kind of presence that I would have, right? Yeah. And I was doing that before I had a media presence because I was cultured in an environment from high school where we are taught to speak, Ronnie. You know that.
I do.
That's a part of the George's tradition that we learn to talk. We come out speaking. Yeah. And so, but there are other persons who are at the university, unless they are assertive, or you have a head of department, or a dean, or a principal, or a vice chancellor who wants the work to go forward, they will find ways within the organization to keep it down.
Yes. Well, I think,
and I'm saying in plain language. I'm saying plain language.
Yeah.
That the member, and I said it in the column without apology, that they are persons, thankfully a minority, but sometimes the minority is a powerful minority, right? Who themselves, being members of the plantation experience, where we are taught to keep others down because of this legacy of slavery, yeah? And that's why I teach it in my classes. It's not something from an eternal yesterday. Yeah. The plantation legacy lives with us today.
Yes. Indeed, it does. But what I'm grateful for is this exposure, which has told me a lot I didn't know. And surely we have to meet in the middle, whether it's at crossroads or what. The government has to open itself to the democracy of policy based upon academic research, and the university in turn must be less precious and must recognize both its responsibility and its capacity to really help to mold and progress this nation. Dr. Orville Taylor, you're a pioneer in this regard. Keep going.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
Thank you for making my ministry a good ministry when I was there. And I want you to invite you that my son, who is not there, will be very happy when I will tell him.
But he has to read the 90 pages. That's
go look for that.
Yes.
I have a 90 page now at that time.
No, it's there. He knows about it, actually. So we'll have a conversation about it. And he's you did well with him, Spurnell. I can tell you that. Apart from any politics, he's a good man.
Good. I think so too. Thank you very much, Orville.
God bless both of you.
Good then.
Take care.
Dr. Orville Taylor, Senior Lecturer in the Department of Social Sciences, Faculty of Social Sciences, Labour Scholar, Labour Commentator, and author. Thanks very much to everybody for listening in today to the Public Eye on the Bridge 99. Thank you, Mr. Charles. We'll do it again later this week. It's a great opportunity, responsibility, and privilege to talk to the Jamaicans abroad and to bring them up to date with the concerns of our people.
Well, let me just say quickly, I have had to answer several questions. How are you sitting down with a man like Ronnie Tweed? And somebody beside us said, but them sound like the two of them was in the same party. The point is this, that people are too involved in the politics of politics,
Yeah.
and not in Jamaica.
Yeah, so next time we meet, we're going to
gonna-
look
we're
at
gonna
how we
teach them
keep
why I am able
that
to-
teaching.
You
that
realize that
balance.
everything about it is different. Catholic,
Yeah,
color,
yeah, politics.
race, politics. But what?
Yes.
Objectives.
Nationalism is primary.
Nationalism.
Indeed. Thank you so much. That should be the spirit of the whole nation. We are showing one small fraction of it. Till we meet again on The Bridge 99 FM.